Joining me right now live on 100 FM The Pike this morning is director, actor, writer, producer, artist, cannabis connoisseur. I don't know. What else could I possibly add to that right now, Kevin Smith?
Desperate for relevance, too many titles. Like, look at that. Jack of all trades, absolute master of none.
Oh, no, come on. I think you...
So many plates spinning and whatnot, but nothing... I was thinking about it today because I was like, this morning I just got out of the shower because I'm here in Boston for the grand opening of the Mooby's pop-up at House of Blues in Boston. And so as I got out of the shower, I was thinking, like, are we going to do the IMDb ever again? Like, I would interview people during the San Diego Comic-Con for IMDb on this boat in the harbor. And then during Sundance, I would go up and interview people at Sundance for IMDb. And for the first time, it struck me. I was like, that whole period of my life might be over at this point. And then I was like, what were you doing that for anyway? Aren't you supposed to be a director? And then I was thinking, like, you do a lot of things just because you get the opportunity to. You know, film kind of opened the door. And anytime, you know, I'm like a poodle. My interest, like, quickly jumps from place to place like squirrel, and then now it's in the world of fast food doing these pop-ups, these Mooby's pop-ups.
Yeah, so Mooby's has made appearances in a few of your movies. Clerks 2, it was pretty much the whole scene there, but it was in Dogma, where the entire Mooby's executive board, I guess, was massacred. Spoiler alert there. Yeah. So
that's true. Oh my God, deep memory. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Dogma's my favorite movie of yours. I'll just get that right out here. So if we could talk for 2 hours,
it's the hardest one to find because it's not like publicly available. It's personally owned by Harvey Weinstein.
Oh God. Oh, that's
tragic.
Not good news. Yeah.
My movie about angels owned by the devil. So.
Well, Mooby's is it's a fast food place. Yeah.
We just passed the 20th anniversary of Dogma, like in 2019. And that was the first appearance of the Mooby's, you know, where Linda Fiorentino and Chris Rock's characters ate with Jay and Silent Bob outside of the Mooby's. And then we did it again in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. They went to a Mooby's. And then in Clerks 2, the whole thing, as you said, was set at a Mooby's. Mm-hmm. And now last year, Jay and Silent Bob reboot, we popped into Mooby's again. And we've been doing these pop-ups for coming up on a year now. It's not even been a year. I think it's about 9 months, 10 months at this point. We started in July of last year and in California. And the idea was just to do it like down the street from where we live. So no harm, no foul. Like it wasn't too taxing. First, it started as like just delivery, like and pick up, and then we moved it into a space where you could actually go and take selfies. And then we were approached from outside Los Angeles, like a place, Gianni's, and a pizza place in Red Bank, New Jersey, where you know the Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash is. They were like, hey, can we do it here? And then in Chicago, they were like, can we do it here? And suddenly we realized, oh, we can go to any restaurant that is willing to like cosplay as our fake restaurant for like a week to 10 days. And so the one at House of Blues Boston is our 10th in 9 months or something like that.
So the place will be dressed up just like an actual Mooby's that you see in the films.
Yeah,
and you'll have employees and stuff.
And it'll be like walking into a Kevin Smith movie, just disappointing, fake. And you'll be like, you know what, wasn't as good as Clerks, I'll be honest with you. So it'll be very much like being in an actual Kevin Smith movie. The food is great. As well. That's kind of the most important component we've discovered with the pop-up restaurant is the restaurant part. As much as, you know, as many Jay and Silent Bob posters as you can hang, if, you know, the food sucks, you're ruined. But we got great, fun food, man. There's, of course, it's all modeled after the food that was in the movies inside the flicks we've done. So there's cow tippers, hater tots. One of my favorite is the chicken sandwich we call the cock smoker. It's just fun to watch people try to order it. So it's been a blast, and it's also in a year where we were kind of shut down from touring.
Yeah.
Like normally I would have been at the Wilbur twice by now this year and stuff. So this was a nice way to get out and interact with the fan base in a new way too, where it's like, hey man, instead of watching me stand on a stage and tell the same stories, come eat a fake, authentic fake fast food.
So, will the employees, are they the House of Blues employees, or is there going to be someone there that's going to be an obsessive Lord of the Rings fan, like in Clerks 2, or are you going to have a live donkey show, something like that?
We can't commit like that, because if that's the case, then the food has to taste like piss and flies. So it's like it would be a self-defeating business model. So hopefully, the good folks at the House of Blues, their staff, act a lot better than the counter folks in the movies I've made. Heavens.
Well, I don't know. You had some pretty good actors. I mean, Rosario Dawson, she's a good actor,
Oh, absolutely. She's so damn good, she make you believe that she would have sex with Brian O'Halloran. That's an Oscar-winning performance, man. Give the lady gold, for heaven's sakes.
So you've this has gone to 10 cities now. You kind of started it up as kind of like Clerks. You started it by maxing out credit cards, and then you turned it into this huge movie career. So is there any plan at all to turn Mooby's into like a brick and mortar place, like a dedicated Mooby's, like getting into the fast food business?
I can't. I'm no Wahlburgers kid. That takes a certain kind of ethos that I just don't have. But for me, it appeals to my lazy nature, because it's like you're not committing to a lifetime and an ongoing business that could rise or fall based on the kind of how commerce rolls, or how many people find your restaurants up. When you're there for a week, every Kevin Smith fan comes out of the woodwork. Yeah. And you get pretty much every Kevin Smith fan within a week, and then after that, the thing would just wither on the vine. So for me, if we were ever going to do it brick and mortar, all right, man, we're laying down roots. This ain't just a pop-up. This is movies for good. It makes sense to do it in Jersey, closer to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash or the Quick Stop or something like that, because we know people travel to see those places. So then a Mooby's there would make sense, because you can shop here, you can go here, and then you can grab something to eat at Mooby's. But anywhere else in the world would be a tough sell, I think. But then again, there are many burger joints I've eaten at as a kid, across the country, that, if you're not from that area, not so much anymore because now everything's a huge franchise, but you don't know their mascots or characters and stuff. So, for somebody who knows our films, they're like, oh, that's Mooby from those dopey movies. But, for somebody else, it could just be like, I just want something to eat. I don't care where this came from. Jay and Silly Who? I don't care. Right,
yeah. Well, listen, the Movies pop-up is going to be at the House of Blues in Boston starting today, going through next Friday. And I got to wrap it up here soon, but I just want to say I enjoyed watching you in The Last Blockbuster. I thought that was a great documentary, and it really made it, there's a lot of people in this world now, a lot of younger people who didn't know what it was like. It's kind of like for record store geeks, a video place, whether it was a mom and pop place or a Blockbuster, you kind of hung out there, you talked to the clerks there, you talked to other movie fans. It was kind of like a hangout for movie geeks, right?
Absolutely, man. That documentary being up on Netflix has gotten me so many nice comments on social media over the course of the last few weeks. A lot of people mistakenly think I directed it because they featured me in the ads for it so prominently and stuff. But I was like, no, I was just lucky enough to be interviewed for it. But for a week, it was trending out. It may still be for all I know. But if we're looking at your laptop on Netflix on your laptop or even on your TV, if you highlighted Last Blockbuster, a big-ass picture of me came up, man, which, really suited my ego and stuff. But me and my wife were fighting about something, and she, stormed off, went into the room, slammed the door. Later on, she told me, she's like, I sat down on my desk, I opened up my laptop, and your stupid face was all over Netflix. She's like, I just can't escape your nonsense. I love that doc. The weirdest comment I got on it so far, though, on social media, was somebody being like, how can you celebrate a place that killed the mom and pop video store? And I'm like, well, I think the documentary, while it was focused around the last blockbuster. It was kind of about video stores in general, not like specifically like this monolith that killed everyone else and then it got killed by Netflix. Yeah. But I loved it, and it's a real sentimental journey. And you're absolutely right. There's a whole era of kids that will never know what it was like to like go shopping for a movie, as opposed to just scrolling endlessly through pages and whatnot. To actually go aisle by aisle and hope to find some hidden gem. And it was made like more worth it by the fact that you had to get in the car and go to the place. If you're scrolling through like, Amazon Prime and you find a good movie, like God bless, but like you'll never feel as accomplished as like, I got my dad to drive me 20 minutes to that store.
Right.
Like I gotta find something, and whatever I find is going to be absolutely magical.
Well, it's Kevin Smith. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. Movies pop up again starting today. House of Blues Boston going through next Friday. If you want to get down there and have the full-on Movies Kevin Smith experience. One last question before I go. What was a bigger honor? Working with Tommy Chong and Jay and Silent Bob reboot, or having the scene with Stan Lee practicing his lines for Mallrats?
Oh, in Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Like that. Well, the Tommy Chong thing I engineered myself. So that one, felt like, well, I know how hard I worked to make it happen and stuff. But the Stan Lee one was a total surprise for me.
Oh,
and, I had nothing to do with it. It was just something that they did. And so that one, like, blew me away. That honestly, like, some people are like, you're being facetious, but I'm really not. Like, that meant more to me than, like, winning an Oscar. Like, in my world, that was incredible currency to be referenced in a Marvel movie. Like, that'll give me another 5 to 6 years of relevancy with these kids.
All right, Kevin Smith, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And go check out the Movies pop-up. House of Blues starting today, going through Friday. Thanks a lot, Kevin. I really appreciate it, man.
Pleasure. Excellent talking to you.